What's up, guys? Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are having an obsessed Friday. We're coming at you late today, and that's all right. Why? Because time is made up, man. That's why I don't wear a watch. I invalidate time. I don't believe in it. I think someone just made it up, and we all follow it. Anyways, I'm Jerry. I own a company called WealthX. And every Friday, usually at 11 a.m. Alaska time, I come at you guys with the Fetta effect. The reason I do the Fetta effect, there's one reason. I want you to understand money as it relates to your human potential. That's it. Okay? I want you to understand what you're capable of. Hey guys, I love the likes. Thank you. Keep those coming. If you're just tuning in, Jen, thanks for watching. Sean, thanks for watching. Nano, I think you're on here too. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to share this. We're trying to get the word out about WealthX and about what we're teaching people. And I just want to explain why we do the Fetta effect. You know, we don't just go live just to go live and have videos out there. The reason I go live every Friday, the reason I take 30 minutes on every Friday and put this out there for you guys is I believe firmly that you're capable of more in life than you're capable of. Okay? Right now, if you're watching, I want you to reach your arm as high as you can. Okay, I know it's weird. If you're at work, people are going to look at you. Reach your arm as high as you can. Great, now reach higher. Okay, did you see that? That's an excellent illustration of your potential. You never know what you're capable of. But here's the fact. If you never try, you're never going to see it. If you spend your entire life worrying about money, you're never going to see what you're capable of. Okay, my backstory, I grew up poor. Okay, I was just thinking about it yesterday. I grew up wicked poor. Right? I mean, going to the food bank, having to drink sour milk. One time I ate peanuts that I wasn't allowed to eat. I offered them to my friend and I got in trouble for stealing, even though it was my house. My parents were the ones that bought the peanuts, but I was like 6, right? But that was stealing in my household. If you ate food that was more than your given ration, that was considered stealing. So I had to sit there and I had to read the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal, right? That's how I grew up about money. It was a very big part of my life and not in a good way, in a negative way, okay? I hated money. In fact, I hated money so much because of just the mess it caused, right? When I was little, we got our house repossessed, or foreclosed on, I mean. We got kicked out of the house. My parents got their car repossessed, okay? We lived in a bus 3 different times. When we first moved to Alaska, we lived in a bus behind a church in Anchorage on DeBar, which is not a good part of town. I didn't know that. I was like 5 at the time. We lived in a bus again with my dad. We lived in a bus again with my mom behind an old guy's house. I remember spilling. There wasn't even a toilet in that one. We had a Folgers jar. And we would pee in the Folgers jar. And we would take turns. Every shift, me or one of my 2 brothers had to take the Folgers jar of pee and go dump it outside. I tipped the Folgers jar over one time on accident. I dumped it all over the trailer. So that was pretty. And that's my memories relating to money. That's my history and my past relating to money. It's not good. Okay, it's all negative stuff. And it was so bad that I remember at 17 years old sitting in my car thinking about why even try? Okay, why even try to earn income? It's all made up. Connor, what's going on? Everyone, Connor does lending. You need to check out Connor with Prime Lending. Biggest, baddest lending group in the state of Alaska. Check them out. But what I'm talking about today is my experience and my history with money was so bad that at 17, I was in complete apathy about money. I had just given up on it. I literally thought money is just paper. It's not worth anything. It's not backed by anything. And this was before I even knew it wasn't backed by anything. I just, had just put the thought on my head, money's probably not even worth anything. So I thought, why do anything? Why work? Why have a job? Why try and succeed? Why try and create all of these things if it's just paper? And if it causes all these problems? Because that's all I had seen in my past was money problems. All through my childhood. My parents got divorced from each other 2 different times over money problems. From each other. They didn't get remarried to other people. They got remarried to each other. And they got divorced from each other over money problems. Okay, so that was my reality at the age of 17. All the way through my adult life, up until a couple years ago, I struggled with money. I struggled with money, and when I say I struggled with money, what that means is I got married at 19 years old. Okay, we immediately got married, and we had to live with my mom. Right? So picture that. Like, if you've been married, like the honeymoon and all that stuff. We were living with my mom. So that's not ideal, and it's actually very awkward, right? But the reason we were living with my mom is because I didn't have any money, okay? I got married to my wife. She had just graduated high school, 18 years old. She had just graduated from high school, and I had been working for a full year, and she had more money than I had. Okay, we had to get her graduation money, all of the money that her friends and her family gave to her so that she could go have fun and do cool things after high school. We had to use that to pay rent and buy groceries, okay? Fast forward 6 months, we had to move out of that apartment. We didn't have money for a down payment. We didn't have money for rent. We were literally sleeping on friends' houses. Okay, we found ourselves living in an abandoned house. It was some family friend's house. We didn't know the guy. We were sleeping on the floor. And the first night there, my wife cried herself to sleep. Like, it was that bad. There was a hole in the floor that was so big that when you walked through the hallway, you had to keep your eye on it or you would fall. Your leg would go through it. We didn't have groceries, so we lived on leftover food that was in this guy's fridge. Okay? One morning we wake up, and we think we're set. Like, we were homeless, sleeping in a stranger's floor in an abandoned house. We thought we were set. We're like, oh man, we don't have rent. Like, that was our perspective on it, just to give you a reality on where I was coming from. So we think we're just, coasting by. We don't have any of these expenses, and we wake up one morning to these noises, and we go downstairs, and people are moving furniture out of the house. And they had no idea we were living there. Okay, so imagine this. It's Sunday morning, 10 a.m. We're just getting out of bed. We hear noises. We go downstairs, and they're moving the couch. They're moving the couch out of the house, and they ask us, who are you guys? And so we have to tell them, hey, we know the guy that used to own this place. We're just sleeping here. And they said, okay, well, you have a week to be out of here because the house just sold. Okay, that was at, I think, 20 years old. That was our reality. So my point today, and I want to talk about this, we have all gone through money problems. Some worse than others, but we can all relate to the fact that we have money problems. So if you can agree with that, go ahead and like this and share this. And what I want to talk about today is why we have money problems, how we can change that, how do we have different problems, how do we have better problems. Because the reality is, you're going to have problems either way. You're going to have money problems either way, okay? I can recall when I was little thinking, man, if we were just wealthy, if we just had more money, right? I had friends that were wealthy, and I didn't even know what that meant. To me, that meant like you had more than one TV in your house, or it wasn't cold when you woke up in the morning. You had heat. Like that. Those were the kinds of things I thought wealthy meant. So I was like, if we were just wealthy, that was my thing. If we were just wealthy, then things would be different. But here's the reality. Wealthy people have problems too. Okay? You will not escape problems in your life. I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's the fact. You will not escape problems in your life. If you're looking for a problem-free life, the only way to accomplish that is to die. And I don't think that's what any of us are planning on doing right now. Okay? So the reality is there are problems, there always will be, and we need to confront that. Now, here is what I believe. I believe that everything that we have in our life, every action we take, every result that we have, they're all things that we did, right? We caused it. And every action that we caused at some point in time seemed like a good idea. And it seemed like a solution to a problem. Okay? Do you have credit card debt? You were trying to solve a problem. Okay? Are you upside down on your mortgage? You bought a house you never should have got into. You were trying to solve a problem. On the flip side, are you wealthy? When you got wealthy, you were trying to solve a problem. You weren't just, hey, let's accumulate massive amounts of money. You were trying to feed something. You were trying to solve something. Okay? Do you own investment real estate? When you bought that, you were trying to solve a problem. On both sides, you were trying to solve a problem. And that problem that you tried to solve created a result in your life. And that result in your life gives you what you have today. Okay? That's my belief on it. Either way, there's going to be problems in everything we do, every action we take. We were trying to solve a problem, right? So when Lexi and I first got married and I didn't have any money, it's not that I didn't earn it. It's that I didn't keep it. I wasted it on things that didn't contribute to our financial condition. And when I was wasting money like that, I was trying to solve a problem. I was trying to solve a problem in my life at that time. Hey, thank you for watching. Go ahead and like and share this, please. And if you want to, you can check out my website, wealthxpro.com, and I have a blog, an article that I do every day on finances. Go check it out. But today we're talking about money problems, and we just talked about how You always will have a problem. You always will have a problem. No matter what, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're middle class, you're going to have problems. And every condition that we're currently in is the result of a problem we were trying to solve, right? I was taught two things growing up. And I want to see some likes if you can relate to this. Okay, so if you can relate to this and you can say, hey, I was taught these two things as well, go ahead and hit the like button. So thing number one, never talk about your money. Who else was taught that? Never talk about your money. It's taboo. It's rude. You don't talk about it. It can offend people. It's bragging. All of those things, right? Never talk about money. Who was taught that? Just Nano? I know other people. Go ahead and like, okay? Never talk about money. That was thing one. Thing two, never talk to strangers. Never. Like stranger danger. I remember being 5 or 6 years old and we weren't allowed to trick or treat. So I've never celebrated Halloween. I was never allowed to. And one of the reasons when I asked my parents was they said, you can't trust strangers. Okay, somebody might poison you. Somebody might stick a razor blade in your apple. Like, I was like 6. These were legit the reasons I was told not to trust strangers because they might hurt you. So never talk about money because you need to be afraid of what people might think or do when you talk about money. And never talk to strangers because you need to be afraid of people, what people might do to you. So the two like chief rules I grew up with them based on fear. It was not based on prosperity. It was not based on abundance. It was not based on contribution. It was based on fear. And not just fear, guys. I'm going to say something you might not want to hear. Selfishness. Not just fear, also selfishness. Okay? Don't talk about money because of what people might think of me. I don't actually care about them. I care about me. I'm caring about how am I going to feel when they express themselves. Okay? That's selfish. I'm not thinking about maybe I can help them. Maybe we can help each other. Maybe we can relate. I'm thinking about I might offend them, and I'm not even like bothered by the fact I might offend them. I'm bothered by how I will feel when I think I've offended them. That's selfish. Okay? Never talk to strangers. They might hurt me. That's selfish. Not only is it fear-based, it's selfish. Okay? What if I talk to a stranger and I can change their life? What if I talk to a stranger and we have common interests and we might become business partners or we might be able to help each other? You know? Never talk to strangers is selfish. All of those things are selfish. And so what happens is we end up with this tight, close-knit group of friends. Who here also has a close-knit group of friends or grew up with it, right? You have 4 or 5 people. You spend all your time with them. It could be family. It could be friends. And you just keep that tight group and you're very wary of other people. You're distrustful of new people. Okay, if that's you, I'm there as well. I've been there. That's something I've had to deal with and learn how to handle in my life as well. And so what happens is you end up with this tight group of friends, and at the same time, you don't talk about money. DJ says not anymore. Hey, if you want to learn how to trust people and how to know who to trust, talk to me. I can talk to you about that as well. But you end up with this tight group of friends. You don't trust anybody, and the people that you do spend your time with, you guys don't talk about money. The reality is, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you probably have the same financial condition as every single person out there. You got $20,000 in student loans, I guarantee they have the same or more. Okay? You're struggling to make your mortgage payment, I guarantee that they've probably done the same thing. Okay? You're worried about how you're going to afford the nice car that you just bought with your PFD. They did the same exact thing. But because we don't talk about it, because we were told don't talk about money, you end up becoming like these people, and you're all struggling with the same problem, and nobody reaches out and says, hey, I'm dealing with this. And because of that, you're in a group, but you're isolated, right? You've created your own prison. And the reason I know this is because I've done it in my life, okay? You created your own prison, and you don't even talk about it when you and the others that are in that prison with you hold your own keys. You're the way out. And we don't let new people in. If somebody comes and says, hey, I have a solution, right? Your friend joins, Primerica or World Financial Group, and they knock on your door and they say, hey, I can help you with your finances. Stranger danger. Shut the door. Don't talk to them. We don't talk about money. We don't talk to strangers. We don't know this guy that well, and he wants to talk to us about money. It must be a scam. And so you end up staying in the same spot because you're so mistrustful and you have no idea about what other people are struggling and going through. And they're going through the same things you are. So here's the deal, guys. If we want different problems, if you're listening to this today and you're saying, I can relate to all those things, I am there or I've been there, We have to change it, and you can change it. The idea is you need to take responsibility for the entire thing. You need to take responsibility for the entire thing. The credit card debt, that was all you, dude. I know you're pissed, and I know you don't like it, but you can't blame it on someone. That was all you, okay? That house that you shouldn't have bought, you signed the papers. The mortgage guy didn't do it. The realtor that you complain about, he didn't sign the papers and make you do it. You chose that, okay? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you chose the job you're at. If it doesn't pay you enough income, why did you do it? And this is important to know, guys. Those conversations, those thoughts, confronting, that should happen, but that's you on you. You don't do that to other people. You're not looking at them and telling them you shouldn't have done this. You're looking at you and saying, I did this. I need to handle it. I need to confront it, okay? So what you need to do, this is how you fix it. I'm not going to give you a problem and dump it in your lap and then not fix it, okay? The way you fix it is you need to confront it, okay? When you have, I have on my phone, I got my phone here, right? Mint.com. When I have Mint.com, I remember I started Mint.com. If you don't know about Mint, I use it with all my clients. It's a budgeting and finance app. And there were times where I was all over Mint, right? Because I knew I had income coming in. I loved seeing it. Pop, 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 pop. I've got little incomes coming in, you know, clients I helped, sales I made, and I would love it. But when things slowed down, or when I had an expense that I didn't like or I knew I shouldn't have put out there, I avoided Mint. I would look at it, you know, it's a scanning with your thumb. I would look at it and then I would take my thumb out. I'm not going to look at it today. And you end up withdrawing because you don't want to confront it. You need to confront it. Don't hide any of it. Write all of it down, all of the details. Here's the deal. You need to know exactly when it happened. You need to know exactly what happened. You need to know exactly how you made it happen. All of the details. If you shed all of the details under the light, you're going to be able to see the entire picture, and then you can solve it, right? So remember, I just said probably 5 minutes ago, every problem that you've created at some point was a solution. Every problem that you have now at some point was a solution to a perceived problem you were having at another time. And what happened was we were so short-sighted that we chose a solution that only fixed us for this amount of time. And on the back end of that, we actually became the effect of our own cause. Our problem that we solved, that solution actually created a worse problem than the one we had before. Now we're trying to deal with it. And we stay in that pattern. I'm going to solve it today, and I'm going to pay for it on the back end. And when we get to that end, I'm going to solve it today, I'm going to pay for it on the back end. And so here's what we need to do, guys. We need to pick different problems. You're going to have problems. Bottom line, you're going to have problems. We need to pick different problems. Okay? If you're struggling paycheck to paycheck, that's a problem. And I agree with you. That's a real problem. And the reason that you don't increase your income is, I don't like sales. That's a problem. Okay, you need to pick. Do you want the problem of worrying about how you're going to pay your bills, or do you want the problem of doing something awkward that fixes this over here, and you're probably going to get used to it? You'll get over, I don't like sales. By the way, I don't like sales. What was the main focus? That's another selfish motivation. I don't like sales. Therefore, I'm going to continue living paycheck to paycheck while my whole family suffers and struggles because I don't like sales. See how selfish that is? Guys, we need to change the problem. You need bigger problems. Okay, you're never going to get rid of problems. You just need to face it and say, I'm going to have problems. I might as well have giant ones. Because the little tiny problems that you have now, A, you're not solving them, and B, by having them, it's invalidating you. Okay, I have a friend last week. I offered him a solution, and he said the solution, it costed him $170 a month. And he said, $170 a month, I can't do that right now. And I literally told him, you need to stop invalidating yourself. You are capable of so much more than $170. Like, how pathetic would we be as human beings to say $170 is bigger than I am? My spiritual capability is not that high. Okay, it does hurt to hear the truth. And that's the reality, guys. We need different problems. And when we pick different problems, we pick different solutions. So you need to change the problem, and then you also need to change your definition of a solution. Think mathematics, okay? When you're doing a math equation and you're solving for a problem, there's only one right answer, right? If we have 2 plus blank equals 4, you can't put 3 in there and say you have a solution. 3 doesn't work. It's black and white. You have one answer. So you need to change your definition of solution to a solution is a thing that works. Okay? Having credit card debt is not a solution. So apparently that didn't work. Yeah, it might have made you feel better and it might have let you kick the can down the road, but it didn't solve your problem. Okay? Not having investments, having to work until you're 90. I hear people talk about that all the time. It drives me nuts. Having to work till you're 90. That's not a solution. It did not fix the problem. It did not work. You worked till you're 90, but it didn't work. It didn't fix what's going on. So you need to change your definition of solution to something that works, something that fixes what I'm dealing with, something that handles my situation long-term and permanently. Okay? So change the problems, make them bigger. Change your definition of solution. A solution is now something that solves the equation. A solution is something that works. Okay? And then you need to talk about money. You need to talk about money with everybody that you possibly can. And it needs to start with me. I'm the guy you need to come talk to about money. I'm going to help you. I'm going to make sure you're educated. And I'm going to call you on your BS. Okay? I met with a client today. We went through all of their plan. They said, these are my goals. This is where I'm at today. Where I'm at today is not where I want to be at. And I said, great. What are your obstacles? And they whipped them out. They always do. They whip them out. Well, I'm struggling with this. This is coming up. We're worried about this. And I said, great, I want you to take responsibility for those before I handle it. Before I help you, you need to take responsibility. Because I don't help victims. I can't help victims. When you help victims, you create worse victims. You need to help yourself. And so I'm going to call you on that kind of stuff. So you need to talk about money, start with me, and then start with the people in your circle. Okay? Second thing, you need to talk to strangers. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to build a bigger network. Your network is your net worth. So if you're just hanging out with the people you always grew up with, like if you're the person that says, oh dude, yeah, I hang out with these 3 guys, we've been friends since I was 12. You bragging or complaining? You should be complaining. Okay, that's not a good thing. If you have the same friends that you had when you were 12, that's probably not a good sign. Yeah, you should have friends that you've had in the past, but you need new people. You need more people. You need to be getting different insights, different opinions. If you expand your network, you get different perspective, you get different people in your life, and you get introduced to somebody that might change your life. Or you might be the person that gets introduced to and you change their life. So you need to look at problems differently and look at them as, I need big problems. Change your definition of solutions. Talk to people about money. Start with me. And lastly, go talk to strangers. Get out there. Make sure that you're making it happen. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and sign out here. If this inspired you, please pass the benefit on to somebody else. Share it, okay? I love the likes. I love the hearts. Please share this. Make sure this is getting out. Now that you've seen this, you know nobody's talking about this stuff. I'm the only one that's sharing what it's actually like, what's actually going on, how to actually confront it and fix it. So please share this. Go to my website. It's going to be www.wealthxpro.com. Check out WealthX TV as well. I'm going to post the link for that in the comments. Hey, have a great Friday. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.